I could never do that.
Like I'll edit the videos and all that shit, but like the clapping.
Clapping?
Yeah, please.
The clapping?
The clapping of the cheeks, I can never
Miss
do
me
that.
with that. Yeah.
Need you there for this. Big time. Yeah.
I had a dream last night that I overslept and I missed the pod.
Oof.
And you
Thank
guys were
God.
mad at me.
That is a nightmare scenario.
You guys sent me
Mad at you.
you sent me the episode and you were like,
You would be dead.
You would be basically. You'd basically be like if you were destroyed into a million pieces.
We would have Thanos.
If you were blown up into oblivion, that's how I would
You'd be
feel
dust.
about you. You'd be that to me. You'd be dust to me.
you'd be dust to me.
You'd be dust to me, to be honest.
Dust bunny.
You'd simply return to the dust, the celestial dust form from whence you came.
Yeah.
You
Nothing
would
but
return to the
atoms.
mere
All of the atoms you're borrowing.
That part is the hardest line in
for
cinema.
sure.
I will rip this planet apart to its last atom. Like, damn, bro, it can't just be like dust. Like several atoms of dust.
Dude, my dad, he was texting me the other night and he was talking about this little like miniature game that him and my brother are playing, like the Roman Civil War. And I was like, oh man, wish I could play with you guys. Is there a third army? And my dad goes, he goes, Pompey had several allies in Africa, Macedonia, and Spain. Yes. I sent him the meme of Thanos, and he's like, you're not the only one cursed with knowledge. No response after that, though.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't know
wow.
if you got it.
Oh my god.
Oh, boy.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
What the fuck did you say?
Pompey
Macedonia and
had several allies in Africa, Spain, and Macedonia. I tried to like look up a picture of one of his Macedonian allies and send him like, I want to be these guys. But
He's
I
like,
couldn't
so
find
it'd
him.
be historically, it would be accurate if you were to play the game with us.
bro. How are people that into history? I'll never get it. Like it's dope, but the amount of work it takes to like read boring ass shit to be that familiar with like
not boring,
Roman war campaigns and
And
shit,
then also
it's
you're like only so sure. You're
Right.
like, you know,
This
like,
probably
no,
happened.
this definitely happened because I read it in a book.
Right. Yeah. History becomes murkier the further it gets. I mean, how long ago was that? That was
It
That was
like 5 years
before-
ago.
Easy.
Jesus, right? Or was it after?
Roman Empire is hold on.
It was before and after. I just don't know when the Civil War was.
It's the greatest, still the greatest empire that ever existed.
The girth of the Roman Empire was wider than Jesus.
It was wider than the what?
When you study the girth of the Romans,
The girth of existence.
AD 117 was it at its greatest extent at the time of Trajan's death. I don't know who
Trajan.
the fuck that
When
is.
was the
Sorry,
Civil
Pop.
War,
I only know
though?
Alex the Great. How you doing?
How you doing?
He was Macedonian. I didn't even realize that. Oh, it's 49 BC to 45. It was only 4 years.
Okay, so wait, it was Alexander the Great.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it was Macedonia that had the greatest empire ever. I believe they did.
Wasn't he bi?
Oh, yeah.
Hopefully.
Is he the first bi guy?
First ever bi guy.
I'm a bi guy.
You know Alexander the Great.
I'm the first guy to be gay, but still,
but I still fuck with pussy.
but I'm still into boobs. And
But I still like boobs.
I still like boobs and vaginas.
That dude like conquered everything when he was like our age. He was like 27, 28. No
Yeah,
joke.
how do you do that?
He was like, yeah, I
Big
think it
dick
was by
energy.
like 30. He fucking.
BDE.
Yeah, BDE. Fully.
Oh wow! Until the age of 16, Alexander was tutored by Aristotle.
Wow.
Go figure.
I did not know that.
I thought they would have been thousands of years apart. Or
Right.
hundreds.
See, I was like, I don't know shit about any of this.
I know. Me neither. My dad and my buddy Sean, they can just spit off facts on any point in time, pretty much. Just
Is your dad the type to like get home from work and just watch History Channel for the rest of the evening?
No, he likes watching. I see him watching more like fictional stuff, shows and the like, not so much like documentaries or nonfiction stuff. He does watch some of that, but
it's funny how like when you become a dad, you instantly like love like learning about war. Like,
need an outlet.
Yeah.
To prevent the war at
home, the tanks the Germans used. The
Panzerschreck.
It's like, Dad, it's pasta night. Can we just not talk about this at the dinner table?
He was 30. By the age of 30, he had created one of the largest empires in history, stretching from Greece to northwestern India.
What have you done?
I've been uplifting to my friends and loved ones.
Been a pillar of hope and friendship to the people in my life.
I give great hugs. And
that's honestly,
they'll remember me.
Yeah, that's better.
That's how they'll remember me.
Give a good massage. Only if you've earned it, though.
Yeah, man.
A good massage.
Good shit.
Tony, shut the fuck up.
Wow. Quick with it today. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Shut up.
Get on with it.
Yeah, shut the fuck up.
Shut your fucking whore mouth.
Shut your fucking mouth. That's your dad to your little brother when they're playing fucking Warhammer. Shut the fuck up. You're wrong.
It's the only time that comes out.
Yeah, he gets aggressive over.
He's like sweet all the other times.
Civil War.
I've heard him say fuck like twice in my life.
What the fuck?
Once per 14 years.
Like that reminds me of Christmas Story.
14 years.
Like the what?
The low ratio.
Christmas Story. But like, you know how like the kid says the F word? But he's like fudge.
Yeah.
But he's like, but only I actually said the real word.
Right.
Yeah, anyways, Tony, shut the fuck up. I forgot something.
Well, get on with it.
Forgot to introduce the buy-in!
Did it cut out right there?
Yeah, it did. It cut out. He was too loud.
I forgot to introduce the pot, and then it like cut out.
Yeah.
I didn't know if you were like doing a thing.
No, you'll get it on my end of the recording.
Okay.
Surely.
Oh, is that a Zoom thing?
Probably.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I hope so. Anyways, it doesn't fucking matter.
It's all good.
Yeah. Ladies and gentle thems, it is Tuesday. Probably. Maybe. February 21st, 2023. Welcome to another episode. Wow, the kombucha is strong. Of Woken Boke. Yeah.
Indeed.
Episode 171 to be exact. I am one of your hosts, Connor Boyd. Here, as always, with my best friend from the great city of St. Louis. The fucking guy who has like 3 shirts, I think. About 3 different ones. There's the blues one, there's the mushroom one, and then there's the like Yeti one. And that's it. And he's wearing the mushroom one today. Tony Harrow.
I like to keep a rotation, Fresh rotation.
How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Yeah. Chill week at work. No one was there, so no one bothered me all week. For the most part.
Kind of like what my work's like, except that's every week.
Damn.
Yeah.
Jealous.
No, there were people there. It was fun this week. Cool. Thanks for joining. As you guys who have been watching or listening for a while know, Max is on tour right now. I think his tour with Lobby Boxers is kicking off now, I think.
Different tour now.
Different tour now. But that's very exciting. But regardless, we are still without him. But we're wishing him the best. This week we are joined once again by friend of the show and consigliere of the Wokenboke Friendship Militia, Marcus Eventide, is here. Marcus.
Nice face, dude.
How are you?
I'm good.
Nice splooge face, dude.
Nice face, man. I'm good.
Just a bunch of buddies who get together and watch each other nut. Like, nice face, dude.
Fucking contorted as shit.
It's like a contest where they take the picture right when you nut and you're like, all right, whose face was weirdest?
I don't even know what mine would look like.
You win.
I don't want to talk about what yours would look like, Tony, frankly. Y'all are dumb as fuck. Marcus, welcome. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for welcoming me.
I'll do both. Yeah, man. Every week we get together and do this. We chit, we chat, we chat. We'll talk about the latest and whatever we're into, whether it's video games, movies, anime, music, manga, all kinds of shit. Doesn't fucking matter. You can subscribe to us on YouTube. You can follow us on Spotify. You can also follow us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. We have a Discord. We have a Twitter at wokenbokepod. We have an Instagram at wokenbokepodcast. And then we also have our email, which is wokenbokepodcast@gmail.com, which you can send, your questions, concerns, comments, suggestions, ideas, stories, whatever, to there, and we'll read them on the show. And all the shit I just mentioned is in the show description. So welcome. This is what we do.
It's true.
This is what we're about.
This is what we do.
This is what we do.
I was laughing in my head right now, imagining what if the hand that was moving my mic arm was somebody else? Just
That
moving
would
it out
be-
of my way so I can.
That would be silly and unexpected. I thought you were going to say, what if the master hand from Super Smash Brothers came on the show to talk to us?
That would be also sick.
That would be
That'd
crazy.
be neat. Yeah.
Like, why are you so powerful?
That'd be crazy balls.
They're a disembodied hand.
Yeah.
All you can
It's
do
like, I
is beat
jerk
someone
off
off.
planets' penises. That's why I have to be this big.
Bruh.
Yeah.
I just started
Yep.
watching True Detective. Shit's fire.
Fire. The first one?
You guys seen it?
Yeah.
No.
The first one?
Yeah,
The
season
first
one.
season?
Season one, of
Mhm.
course. You haven't
Season
seen
one's
it?
great.
Yeah, it's
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 fantastic.
I don't know, it makes me realize what, or it's a good example of what would you call it? Compelling or intriguing filmmaking is. The way it's non-linear, it jumps back and forth. It's it reveals, stuff throughout the episode that you were wondering,
Yeah.
or stuff that you weren't wondering about. And it's just such a night and day comparison to the writing that you see on whatever Disney Plus show or anything like that, which are just garbo, just nothing, no depth to anything they've written on any of their shows.
When
really.
did that air?
True Detective? I think it's 2012.
Oh, so it's not like an old show.
No,
Okay.
definitely not. It's got Matt McConaughey and Woody Harrelson, and they're 40.
Oh,
something.
I've seen a little clip of that where he's
Yeah.
I don't remember, I can't quote it, but Matthew McConaughey's saying his McConaugheyisms. And
Yeah, oh my
Woody
God, dude,
Harrelson's you better shut up.
He's
He's like, I like
It's can you talk normal for 5 seconds?
Woody Harrelson looks like his mouth's always about to fucking explode in the show. He's I don't even know. Anytime Matt McConaughey,
I know what
yeah,
you're talking
just
about.
I realize that humans, we need to deny our programming and just walk hand in hand into the sunset and go into extinction. Just
And he's like, would you shut the fuck up? Don't fucking annoying.
don't say that fucking weird shit anymore.
stop talking that weird shit.
He's like, you're fucking weird. I'm a cop who's happy and normal.
Right.
Fuck off.
oh,
Yeah.
that's
So
so
he's just like, We should kill ourselves.
Have you seen that picture where they put like,
Right.
Woody Harrelson's face side by side with Skylar White from Breaking Bad?
Yeah. Yep. Shattered that for my brother. He was like, no.
Dude, Skylar, oh man, it's so funny. Skylar's such a funny
I'm
character
the
in
one
Breaking
who
Bad.
knocks, Woody.
He's like, Walt, you're crazy. You gotta fucking... Walt, your wife is pregnant. You know what I mean? You gotta chill. He's talking about himself. Yeah, no, it sucks because they just never followed up that first season with a season that good.
No, definitely not. I actually remember I watched the second season when it was coming out, and I was like intending to go back to the first one, and it had like Colin Farrell, Vince Vaughn, and Rachel McAdams was like the cast, and it's like they're all solid actors, but like if I recall, like the writing of it was like just a lot more straightforward, whereas in this one, it starts out and like the two of them are getting interviewed separately, being asked like questions about each other, clearly like 20 years older than they are when they show them in the next scene, when they're actually partners. And you're like, okay, what the fuck happened between them? Why are they being interviewed about each other, about this murder case that happened years and years ago? And Matt McConaughey just looks like ass. Like he looks like he's on his last leg, and then Woody Harrelson's like bald, so he's old. And then and
he's old.
and it's just like shows don't do a good job. A lot of shows don't do a good job these days of like keeping me like wondering what's gonna fucking happen next. Like none of those.
Yeah,
I mean, I everyone knows the Disney Plus shows are ass. Like it's not. I'm not.
They're making me want to watch Andor now, which is really pissing me off because I was done with Star Wars shit.
Do it,
dude. I'm fully just.
I might.
I'm just fully done with Star Wars. Like I'll watch the original trilogy and the prequel trilogy, of course, because I grew up with them. But like, I have no interest in like future Star Wars stuff.
Can we talk for a second? I want to get back to. Well, I guess it doesn't matter, but
what
on this subject, can we talk about this Kang character?
Yeah,
like this is supposed to be their new Thanos.
Can I spoil stuff for you? I haven't seen it, but I have spoiled it for myself, just like watching some guys on YouTube, like kind of talking about it. But
shit, you're editing the episode, so why don't you throw a spoiler alert or something up or some shit?
Yeah.
Spoil it. I haven't watched a single Marvel superhero movie since Endgame. So
I wanted to see Quantumania, but it's just like,
dude, I did too. But after hearing what it is, like, nah.
Dude, let us know.
Well,
all right, spoiler alert for fucking Ant-Man Marvel heads.
I won't get like too into the plot, but like Kang, apparently he dies in the end. He's the one. Yeah. He's the one that like sort of he like makes a sacrifice to save the multiverse or whatever, and he's dying, and he goes, "At least who'd have thought I would have died an Avenger?" And then the characters are like, "Oh no, you're not an Avenger." I'm like, it's like that's funny to think about.
One of you guys,
but it's just like
that's weird because I saw the post-credit scene and it's someone walking into an arena, like Kang walking into an arena, and it's just an arena of Kangs.
Oh, well, I mean, it is the multiverse, so I'm sure there's more Kangs or whatever, but I guess it's not that Kang.
Hey, Tony, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question?
Please.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question?
I beg of you.
Where's the part of this where I'm supposed to give a fuck?
Yeah, see, that's the fundamental like flaw in this whole like multiverse wave that kind of started.
There's no threat.
Yeah,
it's no threat yet.
It started like sort of in the past decade in the comics, and that's what they've taken everything from, because it's such an easy path to just tell whatever story you want, like make whatever version of the character you want, and in a way, it's like okay, like that version of Robert Downey Jr. that was in the movies all the way for the decade, like he is gone. So in theory, like you could get an RDJ to come back, and he'd be a different person. He'd be the same person, but from a different multiverse. So it's not quite.
Are they doing all this just to get Iron Man back? Because
he's going to be in. Apparently, he's going to be in the Secret Wars Avengers movie. It's coming out in like 2 years. But it's just like, yeah. So yeah, it's technically a different person, you know, with the same face and all that and stuff and same name, but it still just like deflates everything.
It's so stupid.
It's not the same.
It's literally
character.
like it removes any sort of stakes like from happening just by proxy of like the opportunity to bring in the same character from a different universe. Like it's so stupid. Like it's cool in the context of comics, right? Because that's a creative way of storytelling that doesn't involve like actors. And I feel like the whole thing is just so like people can see Robert Downey Jr.'s face again as Iron Man. And it's literally just for that reason. Because like when he's on the screen again as like a different universe version of Iron Man, people will be like, oh, it's a guy. This is the guy we like. Just for that reason only.
It's just for the trailer. They're going to do the same shit they did in Spider-Man Homecoming where it's just these stupid cameo roles that take up half their movie.
Right, exactly.
That's all it's going to be. Here's the thing. This is to heighten the contrast I'm making here. Thanos, in the first arc, the first from
phase,
beginning to the end of Endgame, that first arc, whatever you want to call that, like Quicksilver died in that Avengers movie, and they made it so like he was actually dead. Like he died. Like a character died. Yeah, it was a minor character, but he died. Like he's dead. That was the attitude. Like Thanos was actually killing people. Killing them. Like
Black Widow.
They're dead.
Died.
They're not coming back. Right. Like actually killing people. And so was Loki and shit, I think, or some shit. But the stakes were so much higher. He was literally going to blow up half the universe and actually kill them. And they were dead for like 5 years. So it's like that was actually, this multiverse shit is ass.
It has no gravity to it. No gravitas or gravity or whatever.
What the fuck would Kang want? What does Kang want as a villain? Any idea?
No, like
save the multiverse.
They were talking about what happens in like the Wasp. You know, her mom, Michelle Pfeiffer. I don't know if you remember the last one, probably not, but she was like stuck in the quantum realm for 30 years.
The last one.
They bring her out.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah. But while she was in there, they kind of show some of that in this movie. Apparently, she runs into Kang, I guess, in the infinite abyss of the quantum realm. Like they happen to run into each other, and basically, he just like reveals to her. He's like, "Yeah, I'm a evil guy," but there's like no, you know, he doesn't have the grand plan that Thanos has, where he's like, "Yeah, I want to kill half of all life to save the other half," you know, like a mission where he thinks it's noble and he thinks he's
right.
This guy, he's just like,
motive.
Yeah, this guy's just like, yeah, fuck it.
And
I'm
like
bad.
The reason Thanos worked is because they were planting the seeds in the movies from the very beginning.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, something's going on in the background that we aren't privy to yet. And
he fucking popped up in the first Avengers movie.
Super purple.
And then didn't show up until the third
purple.
Avengers movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So you can't like just create a villain out of thin air and be like, it's the same kind of, you know.
They're harping on that. They're like, Kang is a Thanos level threat. Believe us. And it's like, is that why you introduced him in your fucking ass Loki show?
That is so funny because they wrote that in because they're just trying to tell the audience that, like,
right?
Like
you gotta care.
I don't.
It's so bad.
Goddamn, that fucking Loki show was balls, dude. And they have a second season.
Dude,
of it coming
Scarlet
out.
Witch has become a more interesting villain than this Kang character. She's far more interesting a villain. She could have been the villain of the whole thing.
She could have been. She
Right.
fucking
She
like
should have been.
nearly bodied Thanos in Endgame. He had to fucking rain fire.
Right. She's been set up since Age of Ultron.
Exactly.
She had that good show. She's clearly super fucking powerful. That's why I like Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness so much, is because she's the villain in it and she's scary and they're doing all this interesting new shit.
Yeah.
That was the glimpse of like, oh, we're changing it up. This one's gonna be a horror movie, actually. And it was just like there were fun, tense moments in it. That should be in any movie with action in it.
Yeah.
Like Spider-Man, the original Spider-Man's scary. A lot of parts of it are scary.
I agree.
Like when he goes in that
like,
building.
this is a horror movie. It's like, oh, it's just a movie made by a good director.
Right. Has his own style.
Yeah.
Like it looks like a Sam Raimi movie. But
I liked it.
Yeah. Multiverse of Madness, that I still didn't like that, but it's definitely better than anything they put out on Disney Plus or any of the other movies that came out.
It's probably better than Ant-Man. It's also just Doctor Strange can be sort of a more interesting character because he's actually smart and shit and like actually is like can kind of hold his own movie, whereas Ant-Man's just kind of like reacting to everything like, oh,
right.
what?
That's true.
I'm a fucking moron.
Yeah.
Whereas Doctor Strange is like, nah, I'm pulling up to the next dimension.
Right. It's a believable character.
Yeah, and the effects are crazy with him. You're always about to get into some trippy shit.
That just goes back to, it's literally like what you said, like because Sam Raimi's a good director, it's because Benedict Cumberbatch is a good actor.
Yeah, and Doctor Strange just has more to do as a character than Ant-Man.
Very true.
Ant-Man is abysmally boring to me. I never watched the first one a second time. It was fun, but it's like the shrinkage and the biggage, I don't know. It's like if he was more of an aggressive character, like if they made him like one of the best fighters on the Avengers,
right? They really haven't used their imagination.
Like, oh, I'm a dumbass, I don't know what I'm doing. It's got to be funny, right? It's like Ant-Man doesn't have to be funny. He could be like a psycho that fucking.
I mean, it's kind of this whole wave of turning all of the like heroes, or like I guess the male heroes in the MCU, into just like soy boys. Like Thor is just like a fucking chump now. Loki just gets kicked in the nuts in his own show repeatedly.
It started with Guardians of the Galaxy, and I think it works for that. Like, but then they were like, okay, like that really worked as a comedy.
They're all still fearsome warriors, though. The Guardians. True. That's why it works. They kick ass,
right? And then they were like, let's try it with the Thor movie. So then they did the third Thor movie, Ragnarok, and they made it a comedy. And then that one had a lot of success. And then they were like, okay, everything is a comedy now. Everything is a comedy,
right?
Just like, come on, man.
I thought honestly, Matt Reeves' the Batman, the 2022 Batman, was funny. Like it had funny moments because it was so serious the whole time that when there was something funny, it would be fucking hysterical. Like when the Penguin's like, "Oh, what are you showing? God, what are you showing me?"
Such a great character, by the way.
I laughed when Paul Dano was like, "No."
No.
Yeah.
This is not how it's supposed to be, or something like that.
Yeah.
That's true.
That was good stuff.
That's a great movie. Still a great movie. Like,
I wonder how the Joker's gonna fare in this next one. I
don't know.
It's not gonna come out till 2020. What is it? 5?
Yeah, bro.
What? What?
2.5 years.
Be 31 or some shit.
Yeah.
My God, what?
It's insane.
Damn,
dude,
that's how
fuck
old you
that.
are to me. Holy shit. What the fuck?
Bro, shut the fuck up. You're fucking 5 months younger than me.
Damn.
You're gonna be the same age.
I'm gonna be 30, dude.
I'll be 30.
Not
You'll be
31.
31. On the brink of death. I'll be 30.
I still have hope at that point. You're not so much.
That reminds me of
You're
like
dead.
when
You got a heel in the
the
grave.
peak
Toe in the
of
grave.
Marvel, like phase 1, like leading up to Infinity War. Like that was peak like MCU, right? And that was the moment when we were in that moment, we were like, oh, Marvel shits on DC. But now I think the tide is going to change. I think we're
100%
far
it is.
past the point where Marvel has proven time and time again that they are making shitty movies and
That they're
shitty
cooked.
TV shows. Yeah. And
Yeah.
then now like
Fully.
that they're going to redo the DC universe. I think there's an opportunity. I don't know if it's going to be good or not, but like there is opportunity there for it to like shit on Marvel now.
The thing, I just want to say real quick, the thing with DC that's the problem, and I love how our shows always turn into us just shitting or talking about this, but the reason DC's the problem what their problem is they keep Xeroxing their IPs and making these slight half copies of the same thing over and over. Like you have the Matt Reeves Batman now, the fucking whatever director, the Joker now, you have the Snyderverse Batman, and then they're just going to try and retcon all this with the Flash movie with Keaton, and then it's like figure it out. Like they haven't made one solid movie and then a follow-up of that one solid movie. They've never done that since the Nolan movies. They haven't done that.
They're like, so they brought James Gunn in to be the Feige for DC, and he's kind of, I think if he was able to start with a totally clean slate, he would. But they're like, look, we got fucking like $3 billion invested in the Flash and this new Aquaman movie, so you got to incorporate that into what we're going to be doing going forward. And so they got rid of Henry Cavill, but they might keep Ezra Miller, who is a mess of a person. And then maybe, I don't know if they're going to keep Jason Momoa in the going forward. Or what's going
Jason
on?
Momers.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know if we're being insensitive by calling him Jason Momoa, but
it's an inside joke because it reminds me of that when we were chilling in the parking lot after seeing Aquaman, and you were pretending to be the pitch guy, and you were like, "All right, Jason Momoa is at war with the crustaceans." And I just always think back to that.
Oh my god, dude! I always forget about
That's
that.
so funny.
Holy shit, we were dying. From that.
Yeah. He'll always be Jason Momoa.
Jason Momoa's at war with the crustaceans.
Yeah, but so
I mean, literally, that's what the movie is. He's fucking at war with the lobsters. There's fucking jihadist crabs fucking trying to kill him and his kingdom.
Can I just want to give Connor flowers really quick. That's like the great part about being such a funny person. Is like you will just spew out and say shit over time, and you'll just sprinkle people's lives with memories that you don't remember saying any of this shit. And then they'll be like, "Hey, Connor, remember that one time you made me die laughing because you said, this
Jason Momoa?"
Like you're like, "No, I don't remember that." But it's like the funniest shit ever.
There's a lot of those with Tony. He remembers shit. Yes.
I don't remember much, but I remember those things.
Well, one time I made Tony. It was probably when we were, I want to say it was when we were like 8 or 9. Mm-hmm. We were in football gear in Tony's front yard, and I don't remember what I did, but we were fucking around so hard, and I made Tony piss his pants like in the he was wearing football pants on, so it was like those white shits
with pads in them.
Yeah. And I just saw like the white pants, just like a darkness, like a dark line.
I think I was just like
pissing himself,
paralyzed,
and like buckled over
across his crotch.
And then he ran inside, and I was funny. Like, "Yeah, that was." Okay, I don't know if I've ever made someone laugh that hard since. But,
no, hopefully not.
Hopefully not.
That's funny.
But hold on. So they brought James Gunn in. They're like, you got to incorporate this Flash movie and this Aquaman movie, I guess. And so they're doing that. And I don't know how exactly it's going to work. But then after that, they're going to have in 2025 they're going to have the first of their new, reboot or whatever, even though there's actors carrying over. And that's going to be Superman with like a new Superman cast, I guess. Which is fine. I honestly don't think Henry Cavill's that great. Like he looks, he looks like Superman, but his range of acting is not like.
He was a good Snyder actor.
Definitely that, but not the Superman I would like to see. I'm sure he could maybe act like the Superman I'd like to see, but he was just so fucking like, stoic.
Side tangent, really quick. He was better in The Witcher, that TV show. Did you watch that?
A few episodes, but he was good though.
It's really good. And now they've fucking swapped him out, and I think it's Hemsworth that's going to be playing him. And it's just like, what the fuck? No.
Yeah, weird.
Yeah, but
recast the main character.
He's a nerd. He's a huge Warhammer nerd, and I think he's actually maybe even working on a Warhammer project.
He's the executive producer for like Warhammer projects at. It's distributed through Amazon. But the studio that's producing it all is owned or is run, I'm not sure, by his girlfriend. So, and he's just in creative control of all of it, and he's like the biggest, profile Warhammer fan.
Holy shit!
So it could actually be really good.
That's pretty cool.
That's sick.
Yeah, so I'm really stoked for that. But okay, but hold on, I want to finish this.
Yeah, I'm sorry,
thing.
Tony.
It's weird that he announced 5 shows and 5 movies, and he's like, "This is the first part of this is the first chapter in the DC, the rebooted DC called Gods and Monsters, and this is just part of the first chapter." And I'm like, 5 movies and 5 shows is just part of the first. Like, just put out a Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Flash, Green Lantern. That's it. But they're making a Green Lantern show that he said is going to be a true detective style show, but that ties into the movies. And I'm like, you can't expect people
God, that sounds awful, dude.
I know. I'm like, why do you think people want to have to jump between TV and movie?
We don't want to watch TV, bro. We got TV writers making TV. You don't have to make TV.
Yeah.
They don't want to make movies because they're pussy now. Mm-hmm. That's why. They're fucking
That's so
scared.
Upsetting to hear. Like,
that's what it's all turning into, bro. It's all turning into
I just wish they would just not make that a show and make it a movie and redo Green Lantern, because Green Lantern is one of the coolest DC characters that
for sure.
It's insane how much they've absolutely fumbled Green Lantern for like the past since the Ryan Reynolds movie.
Fuck.
Literally like probably the deepest, like some of the deepest, like after Batman and Superman. Like no one has better lore than Green Lantern.
I totally agree.
Whole, like the rainbow, with all the different colors of rings, and so many cool bad guys like Sinestro and Atrocitus and all these fucking badass fucking dudes with just rings that are powered by rage or greed or whatever.
Yeah, there's one that's like love.
Yeah,
exactly. It's like sorry, I don't know the word, but it doesn't interrogate, but it talks about, or at least it mentions like all of the different ranges of human emotion, and like the most like saturated version of that characterized in a team of people, that exist in the universe or whatever. I don't know. I'm butchering like explaining why it's so cool, but like I just love that, because you're right. Your entry into that world is just Green Lantern, like as a superhero, right? But then when you get to understand the universe that he lives in, it's like whoa, this is like a all encompassing, like balanced thing. It's crazy.
And it all culminates in a storyline called Blackest Night, which is where the Black Lantern Corps comes back and they resurrect all these dead heroes that fight as like zombies. And it's like a massive event that they did. And it's like, man, you have the blueprint, but they just don't, they're just, fucking stupid, I guess. And they don't know how to.
They're really fucking stupid. I think it's partially because, Warner Brothers has always maybe been part of that. And maybe that's what's been fucking it up.
They own DC and they're, run by corporate stooges that have no creativity or no, vision of, how to, I mean, all they care about is maximizing profits, but in that they've fucked themselves.
Well, yeah, in the short term.
I heard that they're not going to have a hand in the DC movies now.
Warner Bros?
Yeah, like they're...
Yeah, it's going to be fully James Gunn, and I just am worried because like the slate of movies he announced, he's Superman. There's going to be a Supergirl movie. I don't know why. Like I always hated and this isn't because they're girls, but like Supergirl, Batgirl, She-Hulk, they were made decades ago specifically so that the other big 2 company wouldn't make that character. Like that's why they made She-Hulk.
Yeah, and it's also the characters created in the context of a existing male superhero instead of like creating a unique, strong female character. That's identity isn't like a afterthought.
She blank.
Yeah.
Yeah, blank girl or blank. I've never been interested in any of those characters. There's plenty of like interesting female characters that are just their original character.
Yeah, 100%.
So, but this one's going to be like, apparently it's based off a comic that came out like 3 or 4 years ago, where it's basically just Supergirl playing Jeff Bridges in True Grit or whatever the original. I don't know who acted in the original one, but it's basically just True Grit. but Supergirl and intergalactic. So I'm not very stoked on that. And then, so Superman, Supergirl, there's going to be a Swamp Thing movie. That sounds kind of cool. And they said it's going to be an actual horror movie.
That's awesome.
Cool. It's kind of weird. There's other way bigger characters that you could, give some love to that you haven't, like Green Lantern.
A Swamp Thing movie.
Yeah. It's like, okay, well, I mean, at least they're doing something different. And then, what were the other two? The Authority, which is like, which was in the Wildstorm universe, which Jim Lee created when Image Comics first came around, and then they merged into the DC universe. And it's really weird because they're basically like DC's version of The Boys, but not so like gratuitously like,
violent,
over the top, violent and sexual.
What is it called?
And stuff like The Authority.
Okay.
So the two like leaders of it are Apollo and Midnighter, and they're like a gay couple, but they're kind of a lot more hardcore than Superman and Batman. Not in the gay way, in the gayness, but in their how much they fuck people up.
Yeah.
And then there's some other guys in it too, and that's cool, but it just seems kind of like a weird thing to have. That's the second movie.
There's a guy
Superman
in here that looks like Batman.
And the Authority. Yeah, Midnighter. They're cool characters. Like they're pretty like beloved, like fan favorite characters, and I actually have the omnibus. I'm gonna read that. It's Mark Miller that wrote it, who wrote Kick-Ass and a ton of other good shit.
I think the
last one.
I think the problem is like when they make movies that are for individual characters, they do too much in tying it into the stories of the other superheroes. Mm-hmm. Because I feel like in comic books and in graphic novels, they were able to like acknowledge the existence of other heroes and villains in a way that was tasteful and let you know that this is all in the same universe, but it's still focused on the character and their universe and their problems, their villains, the tone of that character. Cause like, that's a whole other thing too, is like, in comics based on, the comic book you're reading, the tone is going to be different. Sometimes the animation, or not the animation, but the illustration style is different, to reflect that. And I think, if they were able to create movies that were about individual characters and all existing in the same universe, acknowledging that those other, heroes and villains exist, but they were just like focus.
They had their own tone, their own vibe,
exactly.
That's what I was like when Shang-Chi came out. I was like, dude, I really hope this is like a grounded martial arts film that barely even touches anything else in the MCU. And maybe at the end, like there's like a hint or a tease or even fully blown, something.
Right.
But just have it be, it's like a fucking badass like martial arts movie. Like that's what I wanted. And instead it was just schlock. But yeah, and then
schlock. It was schlock.
They're way too afraid to do that. They're like, no, people will get confused because it's not the same like milquetoast vanilla tone throughout everything.
Yeah.
It's just like movies with different tones can complement each other and be behind like sort of a creative ethic or idea. I mean, they don't have to be the exact.
That's why same. Like Phase 1, Iron Man, Captain America, and the Thor movies worked. Before Thor Ragnarok.
I didn't. Yeah.
Thor was different than Captain America, which was different than Iron Man, which was different than Hulk.
And the tone and the stakes were different. It was just
the last of the 5 movies, right, is going to be it's going to be called Brave and the Bold, I think. But I think they'll probably make that a subtitle and just have it be called Batman Brave and the Bold. But it's going to be basically like Batman and Robin, and the Robin will be his son, Damian Wayne. And that's like, it's based off like a really goated comic book run. But it's just going to be so weird because you're going to have Matt Reeves' Batman series going on. You're going to have that one going on. You're going to have Michael Keaton that was in The Flash. And then you have Ben Affleck is also in The Flash. So you just have 4 Batman going on at once. It's just like, consolidate, dude. Like you're not giving people anything to, like you're intentionally confusing people, or maybe unintentionally, but
I'm, as a Batman fan, I'm like so upset that they've never like done a successful Batman and Robin movie with Dick Grayson or Tim, what's his last name?
Tim Drake.
Tim Drake. Either one of those, like, dude, especially Dick Grayson, to like have him as Robin and then become Nightwing. Like, Nightwing is like my favorite Batman character.
Yeah, and he's a lot of people's favorite Batman character.
No,
fucking goated.
No screen time. Like, I know that he's like in a show or something, but like, I want to see a fucking movie, you know?
It don't count. Yeah, it needs to be on the big screen. Yeah, no, they like, it'd be so fire to see like a Batman movie that has like a bigger scope where you see sort of like the progression of the career, you know, and then you see Dick as Robin and then as Nightwing, and maybe you show Jason Todd, the second Robin, who gets killed by the Joker.
Yes.
And then he gets resurrected and becomes the Red Hood.
Red Hood.
And then you get Tim Drake.
Joker that becomes the Robin, which kills the Joker and the Robin at the same time.
And then you get fucking Damian Wayne, who's literally like grown in a test tube at an accelerated rate, and then he gets trained by the League of Assassins for 11 years of his life.
Yeah. We should have made it illegal to make new versions of a character. We should have done that.
What, like all the new Robins, you mean?
Every character is there's a million variants of every character.
Mm-hmm. DC has a bigger problem with that than anything. Like, they have like multiple, you know, they have so many human Green Lanterns. I mean, obviously there's a whole core of Green Lanterns, but you know, you have
there's a whole military core.
But you mean like the Earth
Hal
representative?
Jordan. Yeah, you got Hal Jordan, John Stewart, and Kyle Rayner, the Six Flags Green Lantern. You know, the one with the mask. No,
right.
And then Flash, you got Barry Allen and Wally West, and then there's Kid Flash, and there's fucking, you know, it's just all that. And then
That's
you got
true.
Superman, Supergirl, Super Dog, you know, and then you have Batman, Batgirl, Batwoman, Nightwing, Robin, 3 Robins. Yeah. And
3 Robins, 2 Butters, 2.
It's too much. Yeah.
It's too much. Super Dog, Super Feline, Super Couch.
Versus, like, if you look at Marvel, that's the one thing they do pretty well is they have so many more like characters that are popular. You know,
that's
like,
true.
DC does have Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman.
They got
Green Lantern,
X-Men,
Flash,
which all of those characters are in themselves popular.
Such a great point.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you have a fucking probably like a dozen like A-list X-Men.
Yeah.
And then you have the Fantastic Four, and you have like all the members, thanks to the Avengers' success in that whole past decade, like those are now like a lot, you know, because like Vision and Scarlet Witch like weren't that notable or, you know, like in the mainstream, but now like pretty much anyone that was on that team, Fantastic Four, Spider-Man, you know, Wolverine, all that shit, they have probably like twice the amount of A-list characters as DC, because they don't fucking just riff off the same guy, you know. But DC's best characters are the best.
I do,
you know, Batman, Superman.
I totally agree with you, Tony, but the only part of me that like I just want a Batman Beyond movie. Like, I just want a Batman Beyond movie, please, for the love of God.
That will happen eventually, but you know, who's to say if it'll be good?
But also, yeah, like I feel like they'll fuck it up. So
it would be so tight
both
if it was
of these companies to go extinct and have no ability to make films or television anymore. And I want to replace it with completely new shit.
It just
like the Grippo Stevens universe.
Right. Yeah. There's a lot of potential there. It just sucks because we've been programmed to think all of this IP and all this stuff is mid, but it's only because the people in charge have made it so mid.
Right.
Like this, it's the coolest, it's the most valuable IP on the planet, you know? These fucking symbols are
narrative perspective.
Yeah, and people know the Superman symbol in fucking, you know, on the other side of the planet, and there's so many fucking good stories, and it just is all, everyone just rolls their eyes at it now because like, oh, it's the biggest mainstream shit, and normies watch it, and it's like, well, yeah, it all does suck ass right now.
Yep. And the real source of all of these issues is capitalism.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Now there is still glimmers of light, like the Batman and stuff like that.
Sure.
So you know, I'm not going to give up hope or say like I'm never going to give any of it a chance, because then, you know, why would they even put an effort in to begin with?
Mm-hmm.
Which is why I think they're giving James Gunn a shot. You know, they're like, hopefully he can fucking do this, right? Because whoever's been running the ship for the past decade has no vision, no plan to make it cohesive. Not that it even has to be. It could all be individual shit.
That's what I'm saying. That's literally what I'm saying.
Might be stronger that way.
Yeah.
Like when I was watching the Spider-Man trilogy when I was like 10, I wasn't like, man, I wish he'd like run into the Hulk, It's like, no, Spider-Man already has like fucking 30, top tier villains to his name.
And that further proves my point about like just focusing on the characters universe, because they pull away from like, zeroing in on like cool stories and cool characters by trying to acknowledge and loop in stories simultaneously from other characters. And it's just like exactly what you said. Like Spider-Man has so many cool fucking villains that they could just make Spider-Man movies forever and like never include any other Marvel superheroes, and it would be fucking awesome. But they won't do that.
Man, and they've fumbled Spider-Man so fucking hard. Like in 20 years they've failed to make an action scene that's as cool as what Sam Raimi was doing.
I know.
When he was holding the fucking train and shit. Like, holy shit. They have not done...
Like, holy guacamole,
They haven't done a single thing that cool.
Well, and I gotta say, that kid who plays Spider-Man in these new ones, lacking a soul. Lacking anything.
Tom Holland, yeah.
To grab onto. It feels like he hasn't been through a thing in his life. Tobey Maguire was depressed at the beginning of those Spider-Man movies. He was ready to fucking off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was
actually, or are you just saying that? Like he came off that way?
His character.
Okay.
Like Peter Parker. Was bummed.
Because he was like broke, living in an apartment, and in his closet had a suit and then the Spider-Man suit.
Yeah.
And his landlord was bothering him every time he walked out the front door.
Right. Yeah, I know. And then you have Andrew Garfield, who's just like a 6'6" like supermodel that like skateboards.
Cool guy.
He's like, put him down, Flash.
Yeah, going like, hey mom, where's the fucking soup?
Dude, that fucking pissed me off so much in the second movie. He just starts doing this New York accent.
Oh, I know. You brought this up before.
So bad. Okay, yeah.
You gotta bring my eyes and ears out here.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Which he's not doing in the fucking multiverse movie. I don't think he's really that. I don't think he's like, this is fucking Peter Parker.
That's so funny. They were like, let's make him
he's just like
Italian.
He's like, can we get a selfie together? Like, he sounds like that.
Yeah, where's the gabagool?
They're making apparently. I've heard both of these that they're going to make a Amazing Spider-Man 3 and a Tobey Spider-Man 4.
Bro, stop! Stop with this shit, bro. Stop with it.
No.
Stop.
No.
Throw this shit out.
We
don't need these heroes anymore.
Along with the
we don't need these super.
The Craven movie starring Taylor.
Craven movie.
Oh, are they still making that Craven the Hunter movie?
I'm pretty sure. I have Madam Web.
Paul Sorvino.
Oh, it's so upsetting, dude.
It's like, bro.
Stop.
The Craven movie starring fucking Christoph Waltz. I'm Craven Spider-Man, and I'm here to catch you, you little spider. I'm the greatest hunter in the world.
You've fallen right into my trap. That's a bingo.
You fell right into my trap.
Itsy bitsy spider.
Have you heard the song of the Itsy Bitsy Spider? I'm the Itsy Bitsy Spider, Spider-Man. Do you know that?
Have you heard this?
Bro, just to kind of wrap up this James Gunn DC thing, they're making I want to talk about the shows that they're doing. They're doing 5 shows as well. One of them is a wall. It's called Waller, and it stars Viola Davis.
Tony, but let me tell you about the 10 shows that they're.
We've been talking about this dog.
we're at 50.
I'm just gonna wrap this up by talking about.
We're at 5 minutes left.
I
I didn't want to start a new topic, so I was just like, I'll just carry it through the end with this.
And then what they're gonna do? I'm gonna tie that all in.
They're doing a show called Waller with Viola Davis.
That's what I'm telling you. To see you react like this, because they're making a show. Sorry, we're too close to the mic. They're making a show about Themyscira, where Wonder Woman's from, but without her.
What?
When is that?
The Athenian island realm that she's from?
Yep. And then he's like, it's gonna be like Game of Thrones, but if it was all,
my God.
And instead of women, he says the residents of Themyscira, because he didn't want to say.
Exciting.
I'm like, oh, I want to see that.
What are you watching, sweetheart? You know Wonder Woman. Do you know where she's from? You don't, right? Well, she's from this place, and that's where this takes place.
But she's not in it.
Right. Not in
Is
it.
she in it? No, she's Wonder Woman. She's off doing things.
Wonderful stuff.
The coolest part about this world is not
She's
part of the
off
story.
wondering what else are people gonna fucking turn into a movie.
And then they're making a show about Booster Gold.
Why?
The time traveling super guy. It's like, I don't know how they like make the budgets for this
James
shit.
Gunn, what are you on, bro?
Yeah,
He's like, no, we're gonna make this guy, great.
That's so funny.
Booster Gold. What is this guy new?
No,
he's been around. He's kind of like he is like a fan favorite, sort of
Looks
like
an Invincible
C-level
character.
Yeah, he does. Yeah,
I love how like James Gunn was like, I'm gonna come in here and I'm gonna like revamp everything. We're starting from ground zero. We're gonna make everything better. And then he's like,
everything that DC is really about.
Yeah, and then
the
he
core
goes,
identity of DC.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna copy the Marvel approach to everything.
Right. Well, but also in a sort of not in a way like Marvel started Thor, Cap, Iron Man.
Yeah.
And Iron Man 2 and Avengers.
They've already been competing with that for years now. So it's like, how do you reset that? Do you do a fifth new Batman attempt in the last 10 years? You do a fucking another one of those? Is that what you do? Like, I don't know. I kind of see where they're coming from. Just like, let's just like keep really running. Jumble this shit up, and then we'll give it 5 years. We'll make the fucking Superman movie or whatever. But I don't know, man.
I would have just liked to see a clean start. Just like put the Flash and Aquaman movie out, publicly say these don't have anything to do with James Gunn's movie.
A clean start is
L.
DC should be completely liquidated and redistributed to people that actually like comics.
Yeah, I agree. Marvel and DC's. I mean, even in the literal comic book realm, like most of it is ass right now. They put out like 80 comics a month each, and like 4 or 5 are worth even like reading, much less paying for.
Glenn Powell could be Booster Gold. That could be fire. The guy from Top Gun with the good chin.
Oh, he looks the part for sure. He's a good character, and he's like cool, and he's got a lot of like fun aspects to him. But I don't know why we need to get a show about him. Put that money into a good Green Lantern movie.
Yeah.
About
it's what I like to call fucking pitiful.
Yeah, it's upsetting to say the least, but at least it'll give us some content to make fun of. To chuckle about.
Some content to chuckle about?
Yes.
Yeah, it's tough.
Okay, well, guess what? That's cool. That's neat. Mm-hmm. That's interesting. But that's been Woken Boke.
This is a good ep. It was nice to get all that off my chest, because I'd been wanting to kind of get into that. You gotta have a superhero episode every once in a while.
Yeah, we never really talk about that, so it's good.
Yeah, people were thirsty for it, so we gotta.
Yeah, they were starving. But y'all, we really appreciate you watching. Once again, Tony's basically the showrunner now, so if you got questions, ask him.
Sorry that this last episode was late. It was there were some errors with my exporting and that kind of stuff. So
we're also we're transferring over, so it's taking some time to get on our feet, and
but it'll be smooth eventually.
It'll just be smooth
once I get the process down.
It'll be butter, and you'll get a new bepper every week,
every Tuesday at 8
a.m. So appreciate you guys for watching. 1, listening, 2, and 3, making it to the end.
Gripping. You know what I mean?
Gripping also, and gripping. And gripping 4. So yeah.
Thanks, Marcus.
Enjoy your day. Yeah. Marcus, thank you for coming
on
again.
Good chat.
It was a pleasure.
The pleasure's all mine.
That's not true. Some of it's mine.
You all at a later date.
Peace
the motherfucker out.